Welcome back to K&L Farms. I'm Ken. I hope this video finds you well. As the title, you've seen the title on the beginning of the video, is trying to get ready for the winter time, which in my case it always ends up getting squeezed up because there's so many things I didn't get done that I wanted to do over the summer, and I got to get prepared for the next season coming up. Now, one thing that I was surprised about, and I don't normally get surprised that much at my age, but I want to get this greenhouse. I'm currently in the greenhouse. Get the greenhouse airtight, and I came in the other day. I sealed it up because we moved the tomatoes in here. The tomatoes are still looking good, and we've had a couple of frosts, as I think I previously said. But I come in here. It was 93 outside. Had the door wasn't open at the time. I come down and come inside the greenhouse, and you know it's hot outside. I opened the door, hot outside, 93, and it came in the greenhouse, and it was warm in the greenhouse also. And I thought to myself, well, I wonder how warm it actually is. And so I looked at the thermostat on inside the greenhouse after I made it airtight. It was 114 inside here, which is way too hot. I think it's way too hot for the tomatoes. So I'm going to link in the description a thermostat, which I strongly encourage you to have, because there would be no way that if I didn't have one, I could have actually been able to distinguish how hot it was inside the greenhouse, because it was hot virtually everywhere for me anyway. So I'm going to link one in the description. You can go and take a look at it if you'd like. Now I've already got the greenhouse shed painted and ready to go. I've got this building constructed, and the rest of the video is going to be on coming up for the spring. Now it's not going to happen this year. I've got to move some fill dirt, and we've been building on my place. In fact, there's kind of a saying in my family, my immediate family here on the homestead, what are you going to build this year? Well, because pretty much every year I build something, and I enjoy the challenge of building buildings or structures or gardens, being able to tell if I can actually construct it, because most of the time when I start out, I don't really know if I can complete it or not. And about the time I get midway through and I conclude, well, yeah, I can build that, and it come out pretty good for me anyway, the romance is lost, and I go on to the next project. Well, this year I went back and I started, and probably the better part of next spring, I'll theme going back and cleaning up some of the projects that I didn't complete because I was halfway done with them. But let's go back to the garden. In the garden, my wife and I, she mostly does the garden, and she likes raised bed flower beds. Now I'm going to go theme the ones that I built, but next spring I've got to build several more, and I've got a lot of topsoil left over from these construction sites from building. And so, because you have to take, and I don't know the exact terms on it, but it's you have to go down to uninterrupted earth. I've never seen it myself. I've never built a building where I backfilled, because then you get into an engineering terms on how stable the backfill is. So I always dig down to uninterrupted earth and make that level pretty well level. In fact, I think there was a term over the years I've heard that when you start out, depending on how many levels you go up, because you can attempt to correct level every time you build up. So ground level, depending on how big your footprint is, plus or minus 2 inches was kind of the target, because I'm talking about when we build buildings and the footprint's 30 feet wide. Now if you build a 12 by 12, you want to be as close to zero as you can be. But anyway, we had to remove dirt, topsoil, and we've got that topsoil staged in different areas. I'm going to take the topsoil from that area, bring it over if I can. I'm not even sure if I can or not, and put it inside the garden, mound that up, because some of the current flower beds have, over the years, have gotten considerably lower. We want to backfill some of the current flower beds, and I'll need surface water or topsoil to put into the new ones, which I'll construct next year. But the rest of the video will just be me going to get the tractor, going down in and get some of that fill dirt and see if the bucket of the tractor is tall enough to get over the fence. We have a perimeter fence, which I'll show you here later on in the video. Perimeter fence that's probably 6 or 7 feet tall, and I think the tractor bucket will fit over it because there's only one area left in the greenhouse, or excuse me, in the garden that I can actually get the tractor to. The rest has been constructed around the perimeter except for the back portion of it, so I'll try and get the tractor over there on the rest of the video. Okay, went and got the tractor. You can probably hear it in the background. I hope you can actually hear me. It's idling in the background. Much of that fill dirt we talked about previously on this video, and sorry about the beginning of it. There was a problem, and I hope I corrected on. It was actually trying to focus. I don't know what it was doing, but I didn't want to skip the front part of this video. The other thing we have to worry about is we call it popcorn rocks or potato rocks. All of our topsoil, everywhere on the property has these rocks. It's actually a lava rock, or part of the lava rock. So I'm going to get a scoop of this dirt and take you up and explain the garden area in just a minute. Okay, got a scoop of dirt in the garden, and these are the beds that we made. Take pressure treat, just a standard 2x6 pressure treat. I put 4x4s on the corners and about halfway down. I got to actually remember how the height is. Okay, the height is 16, and the reason the height is 16 is because I put the roofing material, the tin roofing material, unpainted on the inside of the beds. The vegetable garden beds, and the reason is I don't want the dirt, the topsoil, which you just seen me bring a load in, to be in contact with the pressure treat. So I put a kind of a safeguard type deal, and you can see right here, I can't reach it because we got bird netting on these vegetables. These are cucumbers. We need to pick them because they're getting pretty ripe. But in any case, you can see how far down that is. It looks like about 6 inches. So earlier in the video, I explained part of that reason for that dirt is to, in fact, backfill. Once all the vegetables are done for the year, which that bed over there looks like it's almost got them all. You can't see it on the frame. Almost all the vegetables gone out of it. I could actually take from that pile I just made, put it in a wheelbarrow it over here, and backfill that. That would be ready. See, that's the thing. That's the reason for the dirt is I could probably squeeze some of this in this year instead of waiting till next spring to do that. And I could probably, if I got enough dirt, I'd have to take several of those loads, bucket loads. If I got enough dirt, I could do. It looks like there's three, possibly 4. Now we have 4 of these existing. And remember, I also said that. Excuse me for just a minute. I got to pick that up over there. But we're going to put another one of these, another raised bed, because we like the raised beds again. I think these were 4 feet apart, so I have room for at least 3 more. Now I don't know if I'm going to go the same direction that I've already gone, or if I'm going to change and go this direction and make them shorter. I already have the 10. I don't have the pressure treat for the job, but I don't know if I'm going to go towards these beds this direction. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm hoping you can. This direction, and then leave 4 feet between the 2, and that way I could get a whole bunch more of shorter ones. I'd have to actually tape measure. Why don't I tape measure that out and see, because I think these are, I think I made these 15 feet long. I'll be off frame for just a minute. 16 feet long. So let me see how long they would be, in fact, if I made those. And I'm going to shift the camera so you can see me better. and then I'll tell you a little story. But let me check that first, because I'm thinking about running them this way, because I could fit a lot more in this way with a 4-foot gap. And see that's 16 feet. So if I made those 15 footers, I know that's an odd number, but if I made them 15 footers, I could make this walkway. We're trying to make the walkway, or we tried to make the walkway big enough we can get a wheelbarrow through it, or my wife has a little stool cart that she can bring the stool cart around, so it will fit. You see, if I got it too tight, we can't fit wheelbarrows in between them, and we use wheelbarrows quite a bit. Okay, I'm going to pick up that fan. We had some serious wind the other day. Pick up that fan and as I put it in the ground. And if I went this way, and let's see there, I think I made them 4 feet wide. Yes, they're 4 feet wide. So each bed, first one would take 4, 4, and 4, leaving 4 feet between for the wheelbarrow, would be 12 feet. So the first one, I could run my second one, would be right about here. Would be the lead edge of the second one. And 16 feet. Would be a bed, 10 more feet, or 4 more feet, 20 feet. So I can put 3 this way. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it after I talk to my wife. Now, one of them is going to be, and when I feature it later on, is going to actually be a greenhouse. I've got plexiglass left from the previous greenhouse. I was going to run the upper end, run that end up to, say I run that up to 4 feet on that end. No, let's go 32. Let's go 32, let's go 3 feet. 3 feet, 36. Go 36 on that end. Come down here to 16 and take a piece of plexiglass, which are 4 footers, and put plexiglass on the top of this so that we can have the start of a greenhouse in one of our flower beds external, not excluding the main greenhouse. We'd have one, and I'll show you a couple things. And a couple things is, got a couple grandkids. I think it's a good idea. They like being in the garden too. Try and make it so that some of these beds are divisible, so that we can have a grandkid have, say, 4 feet wide and 6 feet long, and that's their flower bed. They can do whatever they want to it, but they just have to take care of it. Now, I think you can see in the background, and you're probably wondering to yourself, what is that? And I'll walk over and I'll point it to it, and I'll come back. This area right here. And when I first did it, I didn't think it would happen again. I was surprised, and remember at my age I'm surprised less and less, but this surprised me. You had 3 or 4 grandkids in this garden playing around. Nobody was here. They're pretty much in a caged area, and one of the grandkids slips out, goes to get a drink, locks the door. Well, I had 2 grandkids locked down here in the greenhouse, and they're hollering at us. It didn't take us very long to figure out, well, the first one had pulled a prank on the other 2, and I thought it was kind of comical, but in any case, I got to walk down and unlock the main greenhouse door. We only had one greenhouse door at the time, the main one in the front. And so the one in the back, the one I just pointed to, that's an evacuation route for the other 2 kids that get left behind, get pranked so that they can go and catch the first grandkid and prank the first grandkid somehow, because they got out of I only showed the 2 younger grandkids the evacuation door, and the third grandkid, they won't be able to figure out how they got out of the garden by themselves, and the second one they could set